Growing up, I heard a lot of stories from my parents about their time at Oxford. They went in year after their marriage as research scholars, all expenses fully paid by the university. They lived in a flat above a little coffee shop, and my dad planted a flower bed of lilies outside. My mom fell pregnant for the first time at 37. She couldn't drink coffee for most of my childhood because the smell reminded her of how nauseous she would get during her pregnancy. I remember looking through photo albums of them standing in very heavy coats by curious little people that had yellow hair sprouting out of their head. It all fascinated me. I imagined their little life in this foreign place with its lilies and coffee and snowy winter days they had to hide in during. My mother had a miscarriage that pregnancy. I was born after 2 years of trying. And after 12 years of trying, my dad made a copy of the Oxford album to take to his new house and had a flower bed of jasmines far, far away from me and Emma. This imagined memory I had of my parents sipping coffee in London became somewhat of a fantasy I would slip into at that time. I remember meeting Professor Barbara, a friend of my parents from Oxford, and I remember my excitement when she said she had the same name as Barbie. As I grew older, I read the research they did in Oxford together and could understand why it was all paid for. My parents paved for me a sort of dream. They came from nothing, but they met at JNU, the hardest university to get into in the country, and made for me a life they could have only wished they had. Even as life strayed further and further from the dream they had in London, they talked about it as one of the happiest times in their life. I looked at that album a lot in my late teens, and I accidentally left it on the balcony during rain once. A lot of the pictures were damaged, and my mom would not let me hear the end of it. Now I'm going to London. Finally. I'm turning 21 in 2 weeks. I would like to meet all of the professors they worked with at the time. I'd like to drink a coffee from that coffee shop I have heard so much about. And as a film student, fill up another photo album for my Amma, recreating the pictures she had with my dad. I want to create a film with that feeling I felt looking at that album growing up. Nostalgia for a life that happened before me. A life that will never come back, perhaps for the best. A life that maybe I'll have, at least for a moment or a semester.